Hey guys, welcome back to wemetatacme. I'm so excited to be here with Mosheh, Oinounou, and Alex Sall.
Hi, Lindsay.
Hi guys.
It is so
happy.
Thanks for having us here.
Thanks for being here. Before we get into the question we always start with, we were just talking about last names, and Alex, you did not take Mosheh's last name.
I didn't. We got married when I was, how old? I was, he's
early
my historian.
30s, early 30s.
Early 30s. Like,
Yeah.
I've spent so much of my life, Alex Sall, and I have the easiest last name.
Yeah.
You know, I still feel in my heart like I'm a Oinounou, which I am, but just ease of, like, I hear Mosheh on phone calls trying to explain to, like, if you make a reservation.
It's funny, me trying to spell my last name or pronounce my last name frustrates her more than it frustrates me.
Yeah.
Like her just listening to it. I'm just like, and anyway, I have a way of
You're used to
I
it.
spend my whole life with 6 vowels in my last name.
Right.
Yeah.
So
But you never considered taking Alex's?
taking Alex's name.
Yeah.
No, is that a thing? That's increasingly
In
becoming a thing.
Sweden.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I did not.
You professionally have like used Oinounou. I think, and everyone knows, like within the media world knows you.
It's a very unique name,
Mm-hmm.
and so I at one point I considered, like, during college, making it more phonetically spelled, because I mean, for those unfamiliar, it's Oinounou, but it's spelled Oinounou,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, at some point, it was so unique that I sort of leaned into it and embraced it.
What's the origin?
My dad is a Moroccan Jew from Marrakesh, so
Interesting.
OI makes a W sound in French.
That's so funny because I was thinking like it sounds kind of Hawaiian.
I get that a
When
lot.
Yeah.
When I
It's
was
like-
swiping right.
Yeah, no, she was actually
this?
hoping that I was Hawaiian.
That's really cute. Okay, so what I was going to tell you is that I did change my last name.
Yeah.
And it's not like a regret, but it's a fucking headache is what
So you
it
went
is.
from Metzelar to Green.
To Green, and like publicly or whatever, no one knows that. Not that it's a
yeah,
secret.
I didn't know that.
Because I will always go by Lindsay Metzelar, but behind the scenes on my passport, traveling, all of that, it's Green. I think just I wanted to match my son. People told me horror stories like they'll think you're kidnapping him if you don't have the same last name. No one thinks that.
Do you feel like more of your friends are keeping their last names?
No, the opposite. My
They're
friends are
changing.
changing their last names like the day that they get married. Like the Instagram is different. Like the, like boom, boom, boom. They're at the DMV like the day they get back from their honeymoon.
I feel like more and more of my friends are actually, but maybe it's because people are getting married a little bit later and they've like
Yeah.
established themselves in their career and they feel
Yeah.
like they don't want to.
I think it's a mix. I will say though that my friends who are more career focused did not change their
Yes.
last name.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. But I also think that it's a good opportunity to get rid of a shitty last name if you have one. And
Very
you-
good
and you-
opportunity.
right? Like, and you marry someone whose last name you really like, then it's like we're off to the
Mosheh
races.
said to me, he's like, okay, you don't have to take my last name, but you have to promise me that when we have kids, they have my last name. And I said, deal.
And we're not going to do the hyphenated deal. That would
Oh.
with Oinounou, that would actually be very complicated.
No, the hyphenated is just, it's too much. It's if you have a cute last name and you want to make it the kid's middle name, then like that's fine. But the hyphenated, it's just like leave your kid alone, you know? Yeah,
I'm gonna move
glad
your
we're
phone.
aligned.
Okay.
So this is the question we ask all of our guests, which is, and it's so fun to have a couple on because I get to hear both of you for the other one, which is, what is your favorite romantic gesture? And this is for your partner to do for you.
My favorite romantic gesture that she does for me.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, I mean, I'm very simple, and Alex will know the answer I'm about to say. Like, it's when she like surprises me with a snack or a meal. Like that to me.
When I cook, when I bake.
When you cook, when you bake, when you're like, oh my God, like come in the kitchen, I've made like something new for breakfast or some new dessert. Like that to me is like number one.
Mm-hmm.
And I did a lot when we first met. I was always a baker, but I wasn't a cook per se. Like I dabbled, but his parents cooked every meal for him growing up. So I knew that was his love language. Like I knew it. So I'm like, okay, I got to learn how to cook. And so I did. Like I went through every Instagram, recipe, and within like 3 years, I kind of like really learned how to cook.
Yeah,
so
you're a
much
phenomenal
that,
cook. In fact, like half the restaurants in New York have nothing on Alex's cooking in the kitchen.
but now with
really
kids, I don't
cute.
cook as like with Olivia. I don't cook as much.
It's hard.
But when I do, it's his love
Mhm.
language. He's so happy.
That's so funny because Steven is the same way. And I was like, as soon as I kind of joined the family, it was kind of like COVID time. So anything everyone was doing was cooking.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know that I'm going to have to step it up here and just get better. And honestly, it's fun for me. I wouldn't have done it if it was like,
Same.
just because you're, a woman, you have to. No, I was like, this is so fun, relaxing.
It's a
I get to do
it's
something with my
therapy.
hands. Exactly. I'm
Yeah.
not thinking. I'm not on my phone.
Same. I
It's
have to
really
like.
nice.
I actually should cook more. Like I need to create time to cook.
I can't wait for breakfast tomorrow.
Oh, that's what I do. I make breakfast for him.
What
a
do you
lot.
make?
Like he loves waffles, pancakes. I make French toast, like egg dishes with
Various
like
egg dishes.
tortillas and salsa and avocado.
I
And
love it.
chia puddings are really good and easy. Like I and I always want to make sure, and like muffins and everything. Like he loves.
It's funny, like post kids, I feel like I cook more for my son than my husband, but I need to like check myself and be like, he also deserves a nice chia pudding.
Yeah. And by the way, like something I did was I kind of like I feed my daughter what we eat.
Yeah.
So I never have to make her anything separate.
No, totally. I'm the same,
yeah.
but I sometimes like just make it.
Make it for him. Yeah.
Okay, we're good.
Do I get lucky sometimes, depending on how Olivia does? Like, I'll just finish her.
Oh,
breakfast.
yeah. Well, that's the best.
Yeah.
That's the best. Okay, so Alex.
And then for me, like I love when he just sits and like listens to me. I love when you sit and you're like, how was your day? Or like we just have time to just really like talk to each other because our lives are crazy. So like I just feel like when we have that time, like that one-on-one time, it's amazing. But I also love when you plan a date. Like when your romantic gesture of like, he knows I love Jonathan Groff and we're going tonight to see Just in Time.
So am I.
Tonight?
I'm going tonight.
Stop. Are you kidding?
Wait, I swear to God, with my in-laws, with my mother-in-law, who you know.
That's
What?
so crazy.
This is insane,
We'll
guys.
see you in a few hours.
We'll see you in a
Literally.
Yeah.
Wait,
So
she's going to die. I have to tell her because not only does she love you, but she's a fan of yours.
Oh, wow.
This is so
Well,
funny.
come early so we can say
Where are
hi.
you going for dinner before?
So there's a Mexican restaurant that just opened
Uh-huh.
by Moshe's office. That's excellent.
On 50th between 6th and 7th. There.
What's the name of it? Do you know? It starts with
It's
a
something
C.
to see. Yeah.
God,
I'll
I'm
post about
dying,
it.
you guys.
Yeah.
What are the odds?
Where are you going?
We're going to what's that? Orzo.
Where is that?
That
I've
like
never been.
Italian place. It's a couple blocks from the theater.
So that's so. So what are the chances? But he.
We'll tape part 2 at the
So
theater.
when he goes out of his way to like plan a date,
Yeah.
Which admittedly, I need to like pick up the
you're so busy.
pick up the pace on that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
You know,
one
it's
of those
hard.
things. Yeah.
It's hard. We're all so busy. It's just
We have to make plan. Like I really try to make a
You
conscious
do. You
effort.
are very good at that. Like reminding us that there is us
Yeah.
away from our daughter
totally.
and away from work.
No, it's important. I saw a video the other day on Instagram or TikTok where the dad comes home from work and the kids are like daddy, and he's like, hold on, and like goes to his wife first, and he's like, mommy first.
That's so
And I was like, that's so cute.
Well, and we've seen that a few times where like I'll come home and like kiss Alex or hug Alex and like you watch our daughter's reaction to that.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, they love it.
She
They love
loves it.
Every time we kiss, he tries to like be in it too. He's like, it's beyond.
the three of you.
Yeah.
You're so
So, I am obsessed with astrology, and I don't know how into it or not into it you guys are, but I did some stalking. And so tell me if I'm right. Alex, you're a Capricorn.
Yes, you're right.
And Moshe, you're a Libra? Is that true?
No, our daughter is. I'm a Gemini.
She's not a Libra.
Oh, sorry, she's a Libra, Virgo.
She's a Virgo.
We're sort of into it too, but yeah,
Okay.
I'm the first day Gemini.
Why did I think you were a Libra? You know what? Because sometimes when I like am a fan of someone, I just assume they're a Libra because I'm a Libra,
Oh
which is probably what it is.
no, I'm May 21st birthday.
So
Okay,
he's like a
interesting.
Gemini Taurus
Yeah.
cusp.
Okay, I love it. Okay, well, now we got to get into the story of how you guys met, which is very cute. So please do share. Also, people are always asking me, like, how to meet a nice Jewish boy, how to meet a nice Jewish girl.
Yeah.
So tell us.
It's so hard. Dating is so it's a lot. You know more than anyone this is your thing. Like it's just but it just takes one.
Well, our story goes back to the year 2018. and we both happened to be on the app The League at the time, which is so funny because like I think we've met like one or two other people ever who like met on The League. But somehow we connected there.
Because I think they match you with like your resume. So I had worked in journalism, and you obviously had too. And so
At the time, I was working at CBS News,
and I had interned at CBS. So we had a lot of mutuals.
Different periods.
Yeah.
And anyway, we connected there, and it took a little bit of like several follow-ups, me messaging Alex. She's a very busy gal. But that like sort of created a curiosity for me and like an interest. Like she wasn't too available, but she also wasn't like so unavailable that like was sort of annoying. Like it was sort of the perfect amount of time. I don't know whether that was calculated or total happenstance. Al.
I think it was happenstance, but like knowing who you are, I'm so happy that I wasn't available, because if I was, I would not be sitting here.
It's so true. And honestly, it's hard to fake busy. Like that's why you really have to live your life when a person, you know, comes along. Because if you're just waiting and want to cancel things for people before there's even like a substance between you, it's not going to work.
And so we messaged, we had a date planned, and then funny enough, you're talking about like nice Jewish boys. I ended up getting tickets to the Jewish Food Society annual event, where they bring in, like they had like Katz's Deli and a variety of folks. And anyway, message her and I was like, I know we have a date plan next week, but like, do you happen to be available tonight? Because I got these tickets. And she happened to be available, and we met there, and we had, I think it ended up being like a 5 or 6 hour date, because we went to the event and then we met for drinks and shut down the bar afterwards, and it just worked. And I think we ended up going on like 4 or 5 dates within a week, and I had been single for a very long time, like very single.
How old were both of you guys when you met?
I was 36 and Al was 29.
Okay.
So 7-year age gap. And like I probably had one serious relationship in a decade.
Why do you think that was?
Work. Like I was married to work. Like I was working at CBS News. I was an executive there, constantly traveling, like woken up in the middle of the night, and it just, relationships didn't really jive with that. And I was really like, you know, that was my priority for a very long time. And even when I dated folks, I didn't prioritize them. And that's something I would quickly discover with Alex, was like relationships take work in the same way that you view professional work. But within a couple of weeks, I hadn't said this in my entire life, but somehow we were like at dinner and I was like, okay, so you're my girlfriend now. Like it's just us, right? It was like 2 weeks in, and I had never done that in my life.
So what do you think was different about Alex? Other than her perfect availability to unavailability.
Oh, well, right. That got me in, right? That was the like sort of appetizer. I just felt an immediate connection. I like even that first date, I was like, oh, she asks interesting questions and has interesting answers. Like I just was so interested on so many levels to her personality. But I mean, she was beautiful. She was personable. She prioritized family. Like we both, you know, found all these mutual interests that we had. And I just felt a fundamental connection with her where it just felt easy. Whereas like for so long I was dating in New York City, and I was like, okay, well, they don't have this, but I'm sort of like on paper, they're good here, you know, making excuses. And it just never felt right. And with her, it felt right immediately.
And how did you feel, Alex? And also, was there any like trepidation about the fact that he was 36? He hadn't been in a relationship for a bit. Like, were there any things that you were just a little nervous about?
Absolutely. I was like, like, he's 36. Like, I obviously can't be too available because he's someone who, like, I just knew he was, just by saying that, like, that he was like a little bit afraid of commitment. And he wasn't willing to settle. But I also I wanted to be my like true authentic self. Like I wasn't going to be a chameleon for him. And if he didn't like me, like that's fine. And so from the get-go, we were like open and deep and really like listen to each other. And like that's one of the things, like if you ever go on dates, you remember, and you would, you know, they'd ask you a question and then you would answer and they wouldn't even listen. It's like they were like off looking at what, like I felt that immediate like sense of peace talking to you, that you were actually listening to me. And one of the things too is that like we started early on, we were very vulnerable with each other.
Well, I wasn't initially because like I sort of had like my suit of armor, and you sort of like broke through that like within a couple months. It took me a while, and I think one of the reasons relationships in the past hadn't worked out for me was that like I so valued my independence and so valued like
That's it.
no one's gonna change me. Like I am like who I am, and the way I deal with like conflict or issues or stress is by myself. And Alex is like, no, I'm here, and like there's a like you can open up to me, like it's okay. And she broke through that, and I think that was the fundamental difference in our relationship, is that she found a way to navigate not being like too aggressive and making me feel uncomfortable, but breaking through what was initially the barrier I was putting up to her, which is probably one, well, I know for a fact is the same barrier I put up in previous dating relationships.
That's so important and such a good quality on your end, Alex. What do you think you did that was like, did you ask, certain questions to get deeper? Because people are always asking me, how do I get deeper?
Yeah.
And when? Is it the third date? Is it, the sixth date? How do we like break through?
So I felt from the beginning that I was asking you deep questions. Like I didn't feel like you weren't being vulnerable in some of these questions, but it was, I don't know. Can you answer that question?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that, I was relatively an open book. I think the issue was that like, I think we started to experience life together. Like I happened to be in like a really stressful job at a really stressful time. And that's where like, okay, I typically put up a wall. Like, okay, I got it. Like, I don't want to worry you with this. I'm going to, self-soothe in this way. And that's where like, I still like go back to this. I remember we're like dating, I don't know, we were probably together like 4 or 5 weeks at that point. And I was sitting on your couch in your apartment and like really upset. Like, or I was like guarded, like, but you could tell something was going on.
Yes, I know.
And you're like, no, you need to please talk to me about what's going on. Like something is fundamentally stressing you out. And at some point I was like, you know what? I'm going to give this a go. And she, again, it wasn't like you must do this. It was like, I am here for you and like, let me help you with this. Mm-hmm. And that real to me is like that turning point for me.
And I think that if the person isn't willing to open up, then maybe they're not for you. Like you don't want to. And I knew he had it in him. He just hadn't been taught the tools.
But also it takes a certain amount of confidence on the woman's end to be like, let's go. I know it's something, and not take it personally or be like, he's pulling away from me. Like you were like, it's not me. He's going through something. It's either he's going to open up or like, that's it. And I think that is such a special quality that, women can have.
And one of the other things that we did was we traveled very early on.
I always say travel as soon as you can.
Because you get a really good sense of how the person is. When shit hits the fan.
And their patience on the airplane.
Yeah. Like
how they treat people, right? Like how
huge.
they treat a waiter, how they treat a flight attendant. How like you start to just see, you start to really learn the character of people. You learn their strengths and weaknesses. I mean, Al, I took you, it was like within 6 weeks to like a wedding, like as a +1. But it happened to be like a wedding of a CBS News colleague. George H.W. Bush dies that weekend, like the former president. I have to like manage the coverage. And she's like watching me, like I'm on my phone. Like we had plans that day, but like now like work has taken control. And like I definitely had been in, previous dating situations where like that was not tolerated, or like that was not understood. But Alex just like rolled with it. Like I remember she's like, on the phone, she's like, okay, I've ordered us an Uber, like I've gotten you lunch, like you've been on the phone for the last 2 hours dealing with like, the president's death or whatever. And then I was like, FYI, we got to fly to Washington on the 5:30 a.m. flight after the wedding. And she's like, cool, like I'm in.
But this is I think the reason why it works too is like, this is my world. I'm a TV producer. I study journalism. I know this world. And so I knew what I was signing up for.
Right.
And you couldn't be with somebody who wouldn't be okay with that, because your life is
It was a wild weekend, and then like we had an event at the Kennedy Center Honors in DC, and I was like, all right, I got to produce the evening news tonight, a special edition. Like, you go off to the Kennedy Center Honors, go meet all my colleagues that you've never met before.
Yeah.
And she just like rolled with it, and then I get to the event after the show, and they're like, we love your girlfriend. Like, do not screw this up.
Right. That's incredible.
He's somebody who also needed to be with somebody who's confident.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many women, and it breaks my heart, who just, I don't know, maybe who just lack confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in dating, it's so important to be so clear, to be confident in who you are and not shapeshift, because at the end of the day, you're going to be with this person hopefully for the rest of your life. So you want to feel comfortable. You want to feel like when you're with that person, you're going home. You're not having to be someone that you're not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so crucial. So crucial.
And we laugh because like sometimes I will get, something will happen and I'll be upset and like Moshe's so used to me being like confident and like
I was like, well, what have you done with like the Alex that like I love? Like what is this, the Alex that's questioning herself? Like,
but that's something that we're working on, him like actually being like, oh Al, like listening instead of trying to listening instead of just trying to like solve my problems.
Well, yeah, I mean, because that's the only problem-solving thing that I knew growing up.
Well, that's also just, it's very much a man thing, is to solve the problem, not to listen to commiserate or understand. Or, that's why it's like when we go to our girlfriends, when we want to be like, isn't this so fucking annoying? And they're like, yes, and you are so valid. But when we go to our husbands, we're like, isn't this so fucking annoying? He's like, well, did you try calling, Verizon, or what if we do that?
You to hear me.
Yeah.
Just say, yeah.
Yeah, that is annoying, honey. I love that. And you guys come from different like family situations. With your parents are together, Moshe.
40 going on 47 years.
That's amazing. And Alex, your parents are not together.
They are divorced when I was 16.
Was that something to navigate between you two? Just like your outlook on kind of marriage and what was modeled for you two and those expectations?
Yeah, absolutely. My parents were, I would just say like, are so different. And I knew, and they still do love each other. I mean, they're divorced now many years, but I just knew that I wanted something deeper. And I wanted to the person that I married to be my like best friend and someone that I was a teammate with. Like I didn't feel growing up that my parents were like teammates. And I knew, and I said to my mom, I'm like, Mom, you should get divorced. Like, you're not happy. Dad's not happy. Like, I saw it as a young kid. Like, you see it, you feel it. You feel the energy in your home. And so I knew I wanted to create something very different for my family. And so I did a lot of therapy and read so many books, dating books. I mean, like, everything that I could get my hands on. Like, I love John and Judy Gottman, their work. And then, so I knew it was important to me to find somebody who would be an amazing parent to my kids. And so that's what I was looking for when I was dating. You?
I mean, completely. Like, that's all I wanted was like, in date one, starting with date one, like, how is this woman going to be as a mother? How is she going to be as a wife? I don't think I fully understood like how amazing it is to find somebody that like helps make you a better person too. Even with my parents who've been together, going close to 50 years now, they are very different people. Right. And one of the things that I never really witnessed growing up, and that has been a learning lesson to me in this relationship, was how to resolve conflict, because I had the opposite. Like, they never fought in front of me. Like, everything was done behind closed doors. So to me, anytime like a conflict comes up or Alex is upset about something, so what is going? I need to run away from the situation. Like, I don't like this. I would like the fight to stop right now. Like, how can we end this immediately? Like, I don't like, just stop. Like, stop. or
It's uncomfortable for you.
it's
uncomfortable.
It is the most
Yeah.
conflict is the most uncomfortable thing for me because I never really witnessed it. I mean, it's ironic because like I'm a journalist. I cover news. Like I cover conflict all the time, but not in my personal life. Like,
Yeah.
I cover others'
Don't you
conflict,
have didn't you get a degree in it?
conflict resolution.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's other people's conflict.
Yeah. not your own. Yeah.
Like I have a master's in conflict resolution to like resolve the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, not to like resolve me and you and an issue we're having in our house,
Very
right?
different.
Even though ostensibly there are similarities in some way, shape, or form. So anyway, like I come into the relationship and this is the first serious time I'm like being confronted with conflict in a real way. Like we're now in a very, like Alex is the first person I dated that I lived with. And so just like learning all of that was super challenging. And I still, like deal with it. Like I still like, I'm like, oh, danger, danger, danger. We're getting in a fight. Like, how do we end? Like, and I'm like, all right, like lean into this, Mosh. Like, what is she saying? What am I saying? How did, she perceive what I said? And it is a new skill I'm learning in my 40s.
Mm-hmm. It's hard. I mean, I talk on the podcast a lot about this, but Steven and I, my husband, came from different households as well, just in terms like both of our parents are happily married, but my parents were like open fighters, like open arguments. We saw it all. Like there was nothing hidden really for the most part.
Did you see them repair?
We saw them repair.
Oh, that's very nice.
I actually don't even think that Steven's parents like fight in the same way because we're just like yellers. Like we just like the sound of our own voices in my family. And I think they like have discussions, But because of that, when we moved in together for the first time, and it was both of our first times living with people, like living with a partner. And so there was a lot of like, this obviously isn't working because we're having a fight. And it's like, no, it's going to work actually even better once we resolve this fight. We just need to learn that.
Right. That's what scared me. Like I had the first couple of fights. I was like, oh my God, like maybe this is not for me. And then you realize you're like, no, fights are okay. Fights are healthy.
Yeah. And you feel, like, if it's the right person, you feel closer to them after you've resolved. And you feel like almost relieved that you got whatever it was off your chest. Yeah, you got it out.
Alex took me to this like retreat a few months into dating. What was it called?
It's called Kripalu, and we saw Jason Gaddis. He's a relationship therapist.
I feel like I had him on my podcast or something. He sounds very familiar.
He was awesome.
He was awesome, but we were so early into our relationship.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't really have many problems.
Right.
But we're in this situation and we're like with these other couples. Some have been married to 20, 30 years. Some, like we realized, like had not brought up issues for decades, right?
Yeah.
Like literally they're having revelations in front of us being like, wait, you hate when I do that? Like I've been doing that for 20 years.
There was a man who was saying that he didn't like that his wife made waffles and she was making him waffles on the weekend. Like forever. And they never discussed it.
That's crazy.
It's just like no communication. And so when in this program that we did, it was like a weekend retreat, we got so clear about, our triggers, our love languages.
Triggers is huge though.
Yeah.
Like we still like, it is very easy. Like, a certain percentage of our fights, we know, like I realize I'm like, oh, like I triggered this from your childhood.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
she triggered this from my childhood.
And we would have never known this if we didn't do this work. And it was so critical. And still, actually, we're going to do something in November. Do you know Ashley from Birth Smarter?
Yes. I think my sister used her as a doula. Is this possible?
Yeah, it's very possible.
Yeah.
She is a doula. She started Birth Smarter, so it's birth education classes. She's also starting something called Move Your Marriage for couples, because she thinks that parenting is so much easier and better if you do some of the work, like the Gottman work and all that stuff before.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do her program, Move Your Marriage, in November. Like it's constant work in progress.
Right.
You're constantly working on this. Is a relationship is work. But like even last night, like we got in a fight last night, and the way that we repaired, I could cry. Like was just. Like we repaired so quickly.
Wait, tell me. I want to hear.
Like I wanted to go to like drive with friends somewhere, and he was like, "I don't like want to like," and it's such a silly fight. Like you can explain it better than me.
Depending on who's listening to this podcast, we'll speak in generalities. But the point is, Alex, like we have upcoming plans, and she was like, I would really like to drive with a couple folks there and back. And I was like, well, I'm not, that's too much time for me with and she quickly backed down, but then I sort of like laughed about it.
And I was like, yeah.
And then like I didn't realize how much it meant to her. And then she was very upset about it, and you let me have it, right? I didn't get, I wasn't too defensive
when
about
I said I let you have it, like I just spoke from my heart. I didn't yell at you.
Yeah.
I just said it really hurt me when you said that because it felt like you were just brushing off how I felt, and then immediately you were like, I'm so sorry. You came and gave me a hug.
Right, you retreated into the bedroom, and like a different version of me might have not gone in there for a long time. But absolutely. I was like, okay, wait, Mosh, like we know better than this. Like she's gone to the bedroom, like let's, and she doesn't feel heard. Like let's go, like embrace her and like reinforce to her that she was heard. And so what might have been early in our relationship a 24-hour fight or an 18-hour fight was, resolved within 30 minutes.
I mean, isn't that the best? It's like at the end of the day also when you're like, what do we think is the right answer here? It's usually a hug and to tell the person that like they're so appreciated and loved. Yeah. And it almost always comes down to that. Like I started a fight. Well, I would say I said how I felt as a result of feeling a certain way with my husband. A couple weeks ago, we were in Boston for his cousin's wedding. And we got there on a Friday morning and he was working all day. And I, purposely didn't schedule anything for work that day so I could take care of our son. And we got a babysitter. It was like a friend's nanny who wasn't working those nights. And our son did not react well to going down like to sleep that night because he had met the babysitter and he was like probably a little stimulated by that. And he was like in a new environment. That he never slept.
Yeah.
And my husband decided to blame me and be like, well, you shouldn't have introduced him to the babysitter. And like, now he's not going down. And at first I was like, maybe he's right. And then I was like, wait a second. Fuck that. I was like, I am here for your family's wedding, like for your cousin's wedding. I sourced a babysitter. Yeah. I took care of him all day. We are even like, we're leaving him with this random person in a hotel room who's never been, so we can go to the rehearsal dinner, and you have the audacity to tell me it's my fault? I was like, absolutely fucking not. And immediately he was like, you're so right. I'm so sorry.
And those words. You're so right.
I was doing that like, and I was like, yeah, exactly. But then I was like, imagine if I wasn't me. And I was just like, oh yeah, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. And I was just like, and I kept my head down and I was like, that would never have worked for him either. Like he didn't even know how badly he needed to get that shit from me just then.
No, and it reinforces over time. And like going back to that like retreat we did, like you realize like the resentment builds over time and becomes so like you don't say stuff for months or years on end.
Right. No,
well, the other person, your partner, has no idea that it's a problem, and B, build it up in your mind where you hate that person.
Exactly. Like I in that moment hated him, told him hated him.
Yeah.
He was like, you're right, you should have hated me. And I was like, great, I don't hate you anymore. Let's go have a great rehearsal dinner. And we did.
Oh, it's the best feeling. Like even your mother, who is we're so close. And she listens to all of our podcasts and talking about relationships and
Hi,
us
Debbie.
Hi Debbie, and just us together. She's like, damn. Like, I wish I did this. Now they're how many years into marriage?
46.
46. It's a little bit harder to make any, drastic.
Oh, yeah. There's no changing my father at this point.
No one changes.
Yeah.
At a certain point.
And, it's so beautiful for her to witness our marriage because, it makes her so happy to see that you're like very in it. You're in it and you're working on yourself and together and what we're providing for our daughter. Yeah.
It's really sweet. So it was always a total hell yes that you guys were going to start a family. What was the process like for you guys? Did you find it easy, difficult? How did it change your marriage, if it did?
I mean, going into it, like it's one of the important conversations you got to have, which is like, are you interested in having kids? Like how many? Like what like having those fundamental things like in place. And for both of us, like that was like not even a question, right? It was a matter of just when.
So when we got married, Moshe was like, okay, we're going to start like soon, right? We're going to like start a family soon. I'm like, Mosh, yes, we will start a family soon, but let's just like enjoy being married for a minute. Let's travel. You know, yeah, we're older, so we can't wait too long. But let's see, you know, let's really like go places. Let's go to the farthest places that we can ever go to that we're probably not going to get to for a while.
Right, like let's take a propeller plane between Tanzania and Rwanda to go see mountain gorillas, which was like Alex's dream.
My dream. And like we did, we really enjoyed that. And for me, you know, something I do, I didn't really talk about this, but I'm a creator on Instagram and I post a lot about like low tox living and motherhood. But before that, like a lot of pregnancy prep, like preconception work. So I had been doing a lot of preconception work even before we got married, like making sure, you know, a lot of people spend so much time planning their weddings. And I did, but I spent even more time focused on my fertility and Moshe's fertility. Because when I was 29, a doctor had told me to freeze my eggs. So I said, if I'm going to freeze my eggs, let me at least freeze the best eggs I can. So I learned all about like health and wellness when it comes to fertility. We didn't end up freezing eggs or embryos, rather. And thankfully, when we did start trying, how many years were we together? How many years were we married?
Just over 2.
Just over 2 years.
Yeah.
So we waited 2 years. And then thank God it was very easy for us to conceive. But it was very important that we both do a lot of preconception work. And I
mean, Alex, like when we're talking preconception work, we're talking about like cleaning out like the cabinets, right? Like Moshe, you have a new aftershave and a shampoo and a toothpaste and like various, you
like
know,
life science,
what is it called?
endocrine disruptors. So like all of that. I was laughing because you just had a post that you said you like microplastics, and I'm like, I'm gonna
Oh my God, you're gonna be
what
mad at me.
microplastics does she like?
Oh, I love my microplastics.
What?
No, it's more of a joke. Like it's more of like if there's like a bento box, like lunch box that's good for my son, like
You'll use it. You don't care.
you know,
Yeah,
like
you made me laugh.
I love like my Dove, you know, body wash. I'm not gonna get like a glass bottle, like little things like that. It's not like I'm like going out of my way to drink a Poland Spring, but like I'll buy one if I'm thirsty.
You know.
Yeah.
I just feel like there are a lot of women who just don't know that there's so much they can do to like help their kid be like, you know, there are so many kids that are born with eczema and allergies, and there's so much preconception work that can be done to really actually help prevent these things.
Right.
So that's what I did a lot of, and I post about a lot of that stuff. And Moshe's actually now on board with so much of it, and that was something that was hard at first for you to kind of
well,
change.
I mean, you're like, well, these are the things I like. What do you mean that you want me to use X, Y, and Z? But then at some point, I totally embraced it. And as like a journalist who covers these things, like more and more, I was like, oh, Alex, you'll be happy to know that the FDA today came out with a report that reinforces what you've been saying for a year about these like sunscreens or you know, whatever it is. So, you know, we traveled a whole bunch because, you become a parent and these things become extremely difficult. Yeah. And so we, got to a few continents, in a few different countries. And then also we both happen to be entrepreneurs. Yeah. So it's like figuring out, okay, work-wise, like, okay, creating a family here, like how is that going to work? And so at the end of the day, like things are unpredictable, but we certainly took our time, like our us time as a couple, but also acknowledging the fact that like I am 7 years older and in my early 40s. And so I want to be able to run around and do all the things. And
So how is having Olivia changed?
That's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Yeah.
Right? There's like before and after.
Totally. It's the fucking best.
And I think, I love being your partner. Like we're such a team with her. You are such an involved, amazing parent. And even though you're busy as hell, you work till 2 a.m. some nights, you're up in the crack of dawn reporting. I mean, it's just constant, but you prioritize her. And it's so amazing to see your relationship. It's like there's just like, I loved you so much before, and it's just like next level now. Next level.
It's really sweet, guys. I feel like we're in couples therapy, like in a positive couples therapy. No, I couldn't agree more. But I will say, and I always say, candidly, I did want to murder my husband initially when I had my son, because it just like, I was a breastfeeding mom. I was up every 2 hours. He was getting 8 hours of sleep because there was nothing he could do.
Yeah.
But it's like you still are like resentful. And then I would say once we were out of like what they call the fourth trimester, I was like, oh, I really like you.
And I think that's
you are
probably
useful.
true for you too. Right? Like, because I remember there's some moments where like you would talk about like all the various things you were experiencing, and I'd say I understand, and you're like, you don't understand.
Like, you have no idea.
mean, how would that?
No idea.
Right.
No idea. You were really great postpartum. I will say that something that was hard is like boundaries with family.
Oh yeah, that's a whole. I mean,
like that was really hard,
that's a whole
and
episode.
something I hope to do better the next time.
Mhm.
But really, like, all in all, and then like after I gave birth, it was like October 7th. So he was like so
Yeah, that was 2
it was
weeks.
really
later.
traumatic.
Yeah, well, I was gonna ask if you, because we are both entrepreneurs too. Like,
Yeah.
there was no maternity leave, no paternity leave. Like, maybe my husband was home for a week, and that's really hard. And then obviously, if you were dealing with, I mean, the news just never stops.
It never stops. It's like we're growing, Mo News and what it is. And at the end of the day, like I'm still central to it. And so trying to juggle both is like super challenging because like the nature of news too is that like it's unpredictable. Like it can happen on weekends. It does happen sometimes too often on weekends.
Right.
And at nights. And Alex has been extremely accommodating and understanding, that. And there are times where I'm just like, okay, I don't care what's happening in the world. I'm putting it down because like I want to read to Olivia tonight and like, help with bedtime or, whatever it may be. And do my part because as we know, like time is fleeting and at some point she's going to be a teenager and like I will lose this time period. Like it doesn't repeat itself.
Moshe has a brother and he didn't grow up with really, I mean, you had family friends that were girls, but there weren't many women, girls around.
No,
right?
I didn't have a sister.
So when I told you when we got the gender that it was a girl, like what were you thinking about? Like you were like, oh my God.
Well, like the part of me was like, I feel much more comfortable if this was a boy.
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like I understand that, but I think a lot of guys are that way.
I mean, even now as a boy mom expecting a girl, I'm like, I have no idea what this is going to be like. I just feel like girls are more complicated.
Yeah. Though I will say I feel also very lucky that our first is a girl because like based on watching my friends' experiences, like she's been like amazing, knock on wood, like I don't want anything to change, but like Olivia, her first 2 years has been like so easy in certain ways.
Yeah.
Like she took to like potty training so quickly, a whole variety of things so quickly where I'm like, okay, like I don't know if the other,
Well,
like,
they
God
always
willing,
say the first one makes you want the second one, and the second one
It's harder. Oh my God. Well, hopefully we'll have.
But there's nothing I would want to replace now being like a girl dad. Like it's just so much fun.
It's so sweet.
You're such a good.
I love that. Okay, I have to get into the questions that people submitted.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Because they're fun.
Yeah.
Did you break any dating rules when you guys were dating? I know you, like, I don't know how familiar you are with my specific dating rules, but I already know that you broke one because it sounds like you were on your first date for a long time.
Yes.
Like 6 hours. So that would
We
be
were
breaking
making out
one
at the
of
end
my
of the
rules.
first date. I don't know. Was
Making out
that
is fine.
Is that okay?
Making
Does that
out
break a
is
rule?
fine.
Okay. Yeah.
Date shouldn't probably last more than like 2 hours on the first, but
You want to leave them wanting more.
you want to leave the wanting more.
Yeah.
But what, if anything, pops out is like a dating rule you broke. Like, did you, sleep together too soon? Did you?
We didn't sleep together too soon.
Mhm.
That was important to me too because I'm like, if we sleep together so soon, like it's gonna end because I know he's been single for a very long time. Like I need to not be too available to him.
Mhm.
So I knew that. So we didn't sleep together too soon. But what I will say I think we did very soon was travel. Like we
Right.
went to Thailand.
But I like that. I like that.
You do? Okay, so that's not a rule. That's
No,
Like going on a foreign trip to the other side of the globe within
chill.
10 weeks. Okay.
Totally chill.
Do you think we broke any rules?
Well, what are your rules? Like
The rules are more like, no more than 2 drinks on a first date.
Okay.
Like keep dating other people until like, it's like, it's heading in that direction. Don't like, it's
That
more
we
of
did.
the guy should take the lead. Like the guy should pay for the dates, things like that. It's
Yeah.
like more traditional energy.
yeah, I think most of those. I mean, I think aside from the first date lasting a long time, we definitely had more than 2 drinks on the first date. I also will say that like I sort of like I embraced the discomfort of like, I want commitment now. Like, you know, like I didn't want to wait. And we both realized later, it was so funny. We ended up like after our first date, like both saying we had plans with friends, like that subsequent weekend.
We both had dates.
We both were on date. We both lied to each other. We both, and it turns out we were on the same block in Soho, like a couple doors down. Like
we could have really blew it up.
We almost could have blown it up. Like we almost could have run into each other.
Did the right thing on continuing to go on those dates.
Yes.
And we did, but I remember being on that date, like texting her from the bathroom, being like, "What are you doing tonight?" Like my plans are ending early. Like and we ended up meeting up that night after our dates that we didn't know about.
Really
so
cute.
You know, I think in terms of commitment, etc., like I probably broke like what I had done in the past, like but maybe that's why it worked out.
Yeah, I think that it's like these rules are good guidelines. You kind of have to take what works for you and leave the rest, because if you're not leaning into what you're feeling and like what you feel is about to work for you, then you're just going to be rigid and you're not going to actually experience like what you should be going through in that relationship. And I like that it ended up working out that that you were like, are you actually free tonight? I have tickets to this thing. I always say like, if it's a one-off, like, oh wait, tickets came up or something came up, you know, and you check in with them, are you actually, you know, free tonight or this or that? Those are a time when you can be, because one of the rules is like, don't be available that night. But that's an opportunity to be like, shockingly, I am free tonight, as opposed to like, yeah, I'm always free. What's up? You know, like there's a different way to do things. And we had a similar situation where something had come up from a really good reservation. Actually, Dawn Angie had come up on my Resi alert, and I grabbed it and I was like, I could have gone with the girlfriend, but I ended up texting Steven like, I actually just got this reservation. If you'd rather go on our date, you know, this time. But the date was already set, so it wasn't like I was initiating the date. So you just never know. You got to lean in, especially if it's a good reservation.
Yeah, but like I would have thought that like, you know, 2 weeks in, maybe it's not the best idea to be like, are you my girlfriend? Like we're done. Like I'm done dating other people. Like some women might have been like, that's super aggressive.
I love
Some
that
women
about
might
you.
have been like, love bomber.
No, I love that about him. It was like no games.
Yeah.
It was so easy. It was just
But
like
you also knew
felt
that it was like you, because he hadn't been, he had been single.
Yeah.
So it's not like he had done that a bunch of times
you're
with
right.
other girls.
You're right.
And had a past
You're right.
of that.
You're
Like
right.
you were like, oh, this is because I'm amazing, obviously.
No, it was so. I don't know. I just really was like, this feels so good.
Yeah.
Whereas there was just like so many other days I had been on. It just like felt like work, or like felt like I wasn't getting to like the true person, like who was the person that I was dating. Like I could, like with him, it's like I knew what I was getting.
Yeah.
It was like very clear.
Someone had asked, can you talk about the ring process? Apparently, Moshe, you didn't propose with it originally. Did you propose Sans ring?
Yeah.
It was COVID.
It was COVID. And Alex had very like she knew exactly what engagement ring she wanted. And like there was a whole process, and we were still like peak COVID. Like I proposed in June of 2020. So we were just like a couple months into COVID. Like when we were still scared to take a plane. Like I was like, all right, like my
we
family
weren't going to the jewelry district. Like no one, we weren't even going anywhere.
We weren't going there. And like I'm from Chicago originally, and like we had a guy there. And I was like, at some point I had a call with like my best friend from growing up, Dustin. And we were like 2 months into like COVID, and like I had a plan. Like I was like, maybe like we go to like Israel and I propose there. You know, I had all these like highfalutin plans of like how a proposal would work. But the world wasn't cooperating, right? In the spring of 2020. And I remember talking to him, and he's like, dude, just do it. Like, just do it. Like, it doesn't matter. And so we ended up coming back to the city and ended up, okay, backup plan. Like, can I propose with like something from the family, right? I call my parents, right? Like, what do we got? And my mom's like, well, I have this like necklace that my father gave to my mother that's like 50 years ago, like a hamsa that's like really meaningful. And I was like, you know, that's meaningful. Like, I want to do that. And then like with the promise during the engagement, like, of course, we're going to go get the ring.
Yeah.
So I just went ahead with it because like in my gut, you know, I was sort of like also pushed by a friend, like, just do it. Like, don't wait for the perfect moment and the perfect place and the perfect plan, because the world, it showed us in 2020 that like it is far from perfect. And so did that, and like invited friends and family, and like we were still wearing masks outside. I mean, it was like
We were all in
crazy.
Central. He's proposed in Central Park. Our friends and family were across the pond. But we were at Ladies Pavilion. Everybody was across the pond wearing masks. I mean, outside it was bananas. But it was such a great. Even though you didn't have a ring, like who cares?
Yeah,
I was just
if he
so
wants
happy.
to, he will.
Like,
Yeah.
like I had a photographer hiding behind a rock,
You
and then there was like a
mean like-
violinist, but that one didn't show up. So I had like a backup violinist, but she was like
I was
performing.
just happy to get engaged.
Yeah.
And then after the fact, we
We went through the whole ring process.
yeah, when things opened up and like we could go to even make a ring, like we couldn't even do that. But it's kind of like why I love just like we're like, who cares? We just want to be together. We don't care.
Yeah.
Like the ring is just a piece of the puzzle, but it's not our relation. Like it was totally fine.
Yeah.
And then we got married like with like 75 people.
Right, and we planned a wedding during
Yeah.
COVID as well.
Yeah, in the North Fork, which is our happy place. But
It's
like
really
it all ended up working out.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Do you guys align politically? Did you always? And like how soon into dating did that have to come up because of the nature of your job?
I think we're pretty much in alignment on most issues. And certainly that came up. I mean, it might even come up on our first date. Like, you know, I cover the news, cover politics. So inevitably I'm talking about like, what did you do today? And I'm like, well, let me tell you, President Trump did X, Y, and Z. Like, and so like naturally you're going to react to those things. But I do think, Al, that like for the most part, as things are happening, I mean, we might react sometimes differently to, you know, various items or prioritize certain items, but I think we're in alignment politically on most things.
I would say absolutely.
Yeah.
We are aligned. Moshe looked at two things when he would date people. He would look at their medicine cabinet and he'd look at their DVR. And on my DVR, I watch a lot of news. And he was like, check. And then in my medicine cabinet, thank God there wasn't anything that you were
There weren't
happy
too
with.
What were
many
you looking
prescription
for?
too many prescription dry. Like
Do you have a fear?
not necessarily a fear, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know it's a little invasive, but I mean, we're talking about it now, but I definitely open it up being like, okay, are they taking, you know, like, I just want to be aware of stuff.
Like if they were on anti-anxiety or something.
Anti-anxiety, antidepressants,
Sure.
you know, like, are there things I need to be aware of?
Mhm.
Because it's like sort of an awkward question on a date being like, what prescription drugs are you taking right now, right?
Right.
Like, I just sort of, yeah, it's something like I admit to Alex, like it was something I, you know, would just, I wanted to be aware of.
But you didn't think that there was something wrong with it if someone were on that?
No, not at all. Like
Mhm.
it was more of like I was curious and like wanted to have the full picture. I mean,
Yeah.
again, it's like sort of a journalism background. Like
Right.
you know, some people are like, I don't want to Google who I'm like, I'm going to Google the hell out of who I'm dating.
You're
Like I want to
I'm
know.
going through your bathroom. So
He just opened the medicine cabinet and saw so many beauty products. And that probably could have scared you away too.
No, that didn't at all. I mean, you know, trying all your shampoos and soaps and stuff, that was like delightful.
yeah.
But I think we're pretty, like, going back to the real question, we are very, very much aligned.
Mhm.
Very much aligned. And, like, very issue based. Like, I'm neither a Republican or a Democrat. Like, I am an issue based voter. And I believe you are the same.
Yeah.
Do you get like harassed online because
Sure.
just as a, you know, news person? That's how I discovered you. I love the way that you make it so like easy to digest everything that's going on, by the way. It's so helpful. But I imagine that people, you know, they find things out about you and you get accused of X, Y, and Z. Like
I get accused every day of a whole variety of things, depending on your political perspective, right? Like I try to have one of the few like nonpartisan, like straightforward accounts on social media, but we live in like hyper-partisan times where like understandably people are like very anxious about what's going on, very accusatory of what's going on. And so I'm like, listen, I'm going to just lay out every day what happened. And sometimes it might be good for your blue team or red team, and sometimes it might not be. But people are so programmed these days. Your social media feed, your algorithm is so programmed to like reinforce your worldview that sometimes I present something and I'm like, you're shooting the messenger here. Like, I didn't do that. Like, I'm just telling you how it is. They're like, well, why won't you call it like the worst thing ever? And I'm like, because it's not.
You're not inflammatory, which is why a lot of people like following you. But then
but for some people, like they need to retreat into their cocoon. They need to retreat into a place where like someone tells them that like they're right. And so we've developed a community which like I love because these are people willing to challenge their own assumptions and willing to change their views, which I think is super important. And I'm going to just like lay it out straightforwardly and, you know, let the politicians be, you know, hyper partisan, but that's not what I'm going to do.
How do you not bring it home? Like if if someone says something really hurtful that you might take personally, whether they know it or not.
Oh, I bring it home.
Yeah.
I mean, Alex knows. He's like, you're spending too much time in your DMs right now.
Yeah.
You're spending too much time in your comments.
You're
right now.
so good at compartmentalizing now. And I think it's just by nature of being in this industry for so long that, I mean, it's so sad. Like with all the school shootings and all the harassment and all this stuff, like you are so used to this and you're able to like step away from it. Yeah, okay, you'll come home if someone says something particularly nasty.
Or at home on the couch. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, what are you doing right now? And I'm like, oh, I'm fighting with somebody.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
And because you know this, like in the creator space, like somebody says something to you, it's like, you're like personally hurt.
Yeah, of course. But I guess for you, it's probably easier to have a fight about like what's going on in the world than your personal family and like, do you know what I mean? Because like, and you know, you mentioned you're now creating on Instagram, like you're probably sharing a bit about your family and things like that. So like it, and again, I don't know what it's like to be on your end. I just know what it's like to be on my end. But like a personal criticism feels more hurtful than you should have said that.
Yeah.
So-and-so was, you should have reported whatever, know?
No, I think it's super important to take breaks from it because like sometimes you lose sight both as an observer, but also as a creator of like, this is not real life. And like these people only feel comfortable saying this because like they don't see you in like would they say that to your face?
Right. No chance.
and thankfully you have such an amazing community. For the most part, you have people.
Oh, I feel very lucky. Like and the people who like get, but sure, I probably block, a dozen plus people a week that I have to who are like getting out of control.
You have a very divisive, industry business.
Yeah. It's impossible for it not
it's impossible. For us, it's
we're gonna keep things. Oh, we're over time, which is a good sign. Means we're having fun, unless Wolf needs to kick us out.
Next one in here in 20 minutes.
Okay, perfect. So we're gonna do a quick rapid fire.
Oh my goodness, that's so fun.
So fun. Don't elaborate. Just like they're mostly yes or no, or you'll see.
Great.
Is owning a designer bag worth it? I guess this is more for you, Al. Unless Mosh, you yes, no.
Yes and no. If it brings you happiness, yes.
And
no if you want to spend that money on other things.
Okay, the bride asks bridesmaids to cover their own $400 hair and makeup. It's a local wedding, no flights or hotels. You can both weigh in on this. What's an appropriate amount to spend on a gift for them, or is a thoughtful card okay if you have to pay for your own hair and makeup?
I think you still got to give gifts.
Yeah, I think you still got to give a gift. But I wouldn't ask people to spend money on their hair and makeup.
That's messed up. How long is normal to stay in the honeymoon phase? Less than 6 months, 6 months to a year, or more than a year?
Less than 6 months? Or what do you think?
I think a year.
You think you go a whole year?
I think a year.
I think a year too.
I'm still in the honeymoon phase.
It ebbs and flows. That's
Sure
the best
does.
kind of phase. Should you invite mother of the groom to get hair and makeup done on the day of your wedding?
Oh, I saw you post that.
Yes, have to involve. I was very surprised by the result. Yes, have to invite. No, your day, your decision. C, probably should, but not a huge deal.
I say yes, have to invite. But that's because I love my mother-in-law. If my mother-in-law was a real problem and I wanted peace that day, then I might do hair and makeup for her in a different room.
I say have to invite regardless because you're setting the tone of like joining families together. And it's like, in my opinion, you got to just suck it up and understand. Unless like, I don't know. I'm also assuming that like they're helpful to the wedding in some way, But like, I feel like the worst thing you can do is like divide on your wedding day, which is all about coming together.
Yep.
Okay. You and your boyfriend are in medical school on clinical rotations. Is it sus if your boyfriend starts following a girl he met on clinical rotation? She's super pretty and definitely his type.
Sure.
Sus, you
It's
think?
sus. Yeah.
Totally sus.
Yeah.
hmm Early on in the relationship, you start to get annoyed with your male significant other. Small things are adding up, and now you're just annoyed all the time. He's sweet but annoying. Is this relationship doomed, or can my mood towards him change?
Doomed.
I agree.
I think you want to from the get-go really have
Annoying
fun
is
with
a
the
bad
person.
place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like annoying is at least like 2 years in. Like, why? What are you annoyed with?
There's always going to be something that annoys you.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
overall, do you enjoy being with that person? Yes.
Your childhood friend included most of your friend group in their wedding party except for you, but invited you to their bachelor or bachelorette party. Should you still go?
If you want to.
Yeah. I think so.
I think so too. That's like you get the fun stuff. You don't have to do the annoying, tedious stuff.
To be there early.
How many screenshots of random stuff, like not of necessarily text combos, do you take a day? 0 to 1, 2 to 4, or more than 5?
Well, I'm in a special place because I do news on my phone on Instagram. So if there's a day that's like fewer than 100, I'm lucky.
Yeah.
Like it's sad for me because like trying to find photos of like my daughter and Alex
right.
is so annoying between like, wait, this is a day like the New York Times broke something. Like I
Thank
have,
God you don't carry 2 phones because that would just be too much, but it would be good for photos.
it would be easier. Yeah.
More than 5 for me. Yeah, it's a ticket, something I want to buy.
Like recommendations, like if someone posts, I'm like, oh, I gotta buy that face wash. If a guy makes a date plan on an app but doesn't ask for your phone number, should you still go?
I mean, I feel like I'm so far removed on it. I feel like if you're having a good convo, like I wouldn't not go with like, I think you should.
I think most people ask for numbers because they take it
Yeah,
off the app.
I
So I would
agree.
be a little.
It's a little
You find
weird.
it sus?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a little weird.
Okay.
Okay. Do you feel like your partner is out of your league or you are out of their league?
Oh, my partner is way out of my league. I have outkicked my coverage, to put a football metaphor on it. I'm very lucky to have it.
I feel the same. I feel like, but I actually don't feel like you're out of my league. I think we're in the same league.
But
We're
that's-
like both like really.
But good. You should feel that way and you should feel that way.
Yeah.
That's how it works. Would you like a man's dating profile if he only had solo pictures of himself?
It wouldn't bother me. You had one
What
with you
about
and your
reverse?
cousin.
I did have a picture of me and my cousin because it was hard to crop him out. But and I thought I looked good in that picture. Most of my dating profiles were only solo shots of me. Why? Is it suspect if I don't throw friends in there?
Like a little, just like
Yeah.
not as well rounded as it could have been, you know?
Got it.
But luckily,
Yeah, your cousin.
you're fine.
Yeah, there was one photo of me and a
he
cousin.
he said he cooked. He said he was like.
I said I was
taller
5'9",
than
even though I'm a
he
couple
was.
slightly shorter. Yeah.
You always want to, put your best foot forward.
There's fibbing. There's fibbing.
You live with your boyfriend of 3 years and you guys both have low sex drive. You only have sex about 1 time a month, but you both agree that you don't mind it this way. Is that okay?
No.
If you're still in the dating phase, I feel like, as we all know, like as you go through time and marriage and kids and whatever, like if that's your beginning point, but I know this was a yes, no question, but at the same time, you're both okay with it. If that's not something you both prioritize in your relationship, then maybe that is okay.
Right. It's all about like if you're content with how much you guys are having sex,
Yeah.
both are. One of you isn't faking being, then that's fine. My concern now that I'm reading this back is like, why are you living with a boyfriend for 3 years and you haven't progressed
Into more.
Maybe like the sex is, has something to do with it. Okay. Does it give you the ick to see a man on the couch scrolling for extended periods of time?
Not at all, because it is my day to day. Moj is always on his phone, always working, but I know that like he is doing. He's flourishing, like he's happy.
Yeah.
And he's working and he's posting and he's in flow and it doesn't bother me at all.
It's not me wasting time. It's like
Right.
it's typically like work. But I will say I do make a point, Al. Like the moment like you or Olivia need anything, or
you always
whatever. Like I put like I'm not
always.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. Do you think people are generally A, more jealous of those who seemingly have it all, or B, that only applies to people that need to work on themselves?
That's such an interesting question. I probably feel like maybe they're unhappy with certain things, which is why they feel like the person has it all. So maybe they do need to have some self introspection and see like, well, what is it? What's making me feel like maybe jealous or feel like they have it all? What like, by the way, no one can ever have it all.
Right. Like I think jealousy is a natural like feeling. Like I don't think you can go through life like not like, but what is it that is missing from your life? Like personally, professionally. And I do think that like if you have people around you or you're following certain social media accounts that are constantly making you feel that way, then that's a problem.
Then you
I
should-
agree. I also am like, you obviously don't have honest friends because no one has it all. Like your friends who you might, if we're talking about friends and not people they follow on Instagram, like your friends are going to tell you when like shit's not as ideal because no one has the perfect situation, you know? It's more about like if you put your problems and your friends put their problems and everyone put their problems in a pile, would you take your own back? And like, if you would, then
Oh, I
you have
love
it all
that.
enough.
Yeah. To answer your question, yes, I would take my own
I
problems.
love my
right?
problems.
Do you love your problems?
I do. I like
There
my
you
problems.
go.
Yeah, we
Guys-
always like pinch ourselves and we're like, this is like kind of cool. Like our life is like had we dreamed this up, like this is what I would have dreamed for.
Yeah, this was like a total pivot during COVID. I mean,
Yeah.
the life before COVID, and then like starting the Instagram, and then Alex starting her stuff. Like we had a very different life before like March of 2020. So
Yeah.
this is amazing.
Thank you so much for having us.
This is so fun. Can you leave us with a quote or piece of advice that has helped you throughout the years? It could be like live, laugh, love. Like it doesn't have to be so crazy.
Live, laugh, love. The best advice ever. I would like actually. This is a piece of advice that I think applies in like the interviewing space and in like journalism world, but I think it applies everywhere. Which is like, don't fill silences. Like silence is like golden because it like opens the other person up into like, well, people feel the need to fill silences. So if you like sit back and like pause and someone will jump in there and sometimes will say the most profound thing, the most interesting thing. And this I think applies on dates as well. Like listen and pause and like check yourself. Like let the other person go because you're like there's going to be revealing things that you learn again personally, professionally if you're conducting a job interview with somebody. So to me, it just like pause and silence is like golden and will like lead to some really interesting observations.
I love that. I'll be silent. I think that for me, it's like really being authentic to myself and like creating a life where if I really don't want to say yes to something, like I don't.
Amen.
And if I don't want to, be friends with this person, like I release them with love in my life. Like I'm really trying in this next chapter of my life to not be a people pleaser and to really just be and with you, like something I did with you is really I was always myself. Who I am is who I am. I never shape shifted. I never was a chameleon. And that's why I feel so comfortable with you and in our relationship. And so I want to just bring that to the rest of my life where I'm always just really if I say yes to a plan, it's because I really want to go. Things like that. So that would be my piece of advice for other people too.
And it was interesting, you brought up some of like the various like wedding scenarios and that's actually like, it's really revelatory, when you go through the wedding process and then afterwards, and then you look back at photos, you're like, wait, I thought that person was so important in my life. And you realize that like certain people in your life like had a season, right? And then like you evolve over time.
Yeah.
And sometimes like you feel obligated to like hold on to that, but it's like, no, they served you really well from like age 18 to 25, but like you're now in different places. And maybe it's not only that like you're not that close, but like they don't serve you. Like, it's actually a negative relationship net, and learning to like let go, but also appreciate the time you did have.
Yeah.
Totally. I couldn't agree more. Where can everyone find you guys? Follow along and
you can find me at Sall on Instagram, and I also run a marketing, web design, branding business called Sall Studio.
And Mo News, where we have a 24/7 news feed on Instagram, which is just my first name, Mosheh, Mosheh. We have a daily morning podcast, which breaks down the news, the Mo News podcast everywhere. We also have a daily Substack, the Mo News Substack. You can find it all. Mo.news is the website.
awesome. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much, Lindsay. This was so fun.
That was so
Thank
great.
you.
You guys killed it.
Oh my